Okay, hi everyone. I wanted to go over Act 3, Scene 4, which is a big scene. So we're gonna do this one completely by itself. I sent you guys a link to an online video. You can also go on YouTube and type in like Ghost of Banquo and you can watch different interpretations. So this is the first big dinner that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are having as king and queen. So all the important people are there, and it's really important that they impress everybody during this dinner. So first thing that happens is the murderers come to the door and they have blood on their face, and they say that they've gashed Banquo in the head 20 times. So this is a particularly brutal murder. Then they also say that Fleance has gotten away, and Macbeth in line 31 say, well, he has no teeth for the present. So what do you think that means? He has no teeth for the present. So Fleance is young and he's not an immediate threat to the crown. So then the murderers like go out the side door. Lady Macbeth is having everybody sit down, and Macbeth is kind of, I love acting this scene out in class because usually I have someone with the mask on and like comes in as the ghost of Banquo and freaks Macbeth out and freaks the class out. So this is one of my favorite scenes to act out, so I'm sad that we're not acting it out. But what happens is Macbeth is kind of like sitting behind the chair, or he's standing behind the chair, and then he says like, where am I gonna sit? And they're like, oh, there's an empty seat right here, to what appears to be an empty chair to everybody else. But then it's actually the ghost of Banquo staring up at him with 20 gashes in his head. And Macbeth is so freaked out. So he's like, who did this? And he thinks it's a joke. But then everybody's looking and everybody's like, it's an empty chair that you're staring at. So is this a good impression from our king? No. Does he seem stable? No. So he's screaming, and then the ghost disappears. Then what happens throughout the meal is every time that someone goes to toast Banquo, the ghost shows up. And that's not a coincidence. So Lady Macbeth makes an excuse for her husband as usual, and she says that he has been like this since he was young, and this is like something that he suffers from. So she makes an excuse for him, and she then like pulls him aside and she's like, you're crazy, to like what are you, like scared? And again like kind of like pokes at him being a coward. And she's like, are you a man? So again, pokes at his manhood. And then he says on line like 75 down, in that little bit that he says like basically murder is not the end of it, that it's a cycle of murder, which we talked about in class before, this cycle of murder. And then Macbeth says, oh, you know what? I'm sick. I have this strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. And then the ghost of Banquo comes in one last time. And that time he just freaks out. And that's like around line 90, 95. And he's like, your blood is cold. You're glaring at me. And then he's like, you're like, he's like, you know, come to me in any other form, but don't come to me as this. It's my dead best friend. So he's really freaking out. And then Lady Macbeth has everybody leave the dinner quickly. She's like, leave, leave, leave. Like, you've ruined it. She doesn't like let them say goodbye in the proper way. And she's like, just get out. So then this is, probably like a turning point for Macbeth's character, because now the rest of the people know that he's kind of crazy. So my question to you guys, and what I'm going to ask you to answer, is this a hallucination? Is he really going crazy? Did the witches plant this ghost here? Is there really the ghost of Banquo there? And why do you think that? At the end of it, he says the line 136, he says, I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as to go over. Which means that he has killed so many people now that he says like, I'm in too deep now. I can't back out of this. Like now I've killed Banquo. He knows Fleance got away, but he's killed Duncan. He killed the guards, and it's gonna keep getting worse. So now he says, I'm in too far. And then at the end of the scene, it ends in an ominous way when he says, we are yet but young indeed. In what deed is he talking about there? He's talking about the deed of murder. He's saying, we're not done yet. Meanwhile, Lady Macbeth knows that he just blew this whole thing up in front of all these important nobles. So this scene is really important in the character of Macbeth and his development. because now the audience realizes how crazy he is. So I'm sorry that we couldn't act this one out in class, but I hope you have a better understanding of it from the film clip and from my analysis. So I hope you guys will get some fresh air today. I'm taping this the day before, so today was beautiful on Tuesday, but I will talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.